Hi, my name is Matthew Winchester, and welcome to the very first episode of my new YouTube channel. This channel will be based on my journey from some of the darkest places in my life where I experienced childhood trauma, which created a lot of insecurities in my life, low self-esteem, mental health issues, and depression. I will also delve into how I dealt with these issues and how I was able to overcome most of these issues to get to where I am today as I continue on this journey. Now, for those of you who do not know who I am, I'm a singer, songwriter, music producer, performer, and I have been in the music game for quite a while. I am based in the UK and I've been living here for a while as well. Some of my interests are spirituality, personal development, and mindset coaching. And this is because I was introduced to these practices years ago while searching for ways to deal with my trauma. I've always been on a journey of transformation. If any part of my journey can help anyone with their journey, I consider that a positive thing. In each video, I'll cover different topics. I'll show how the specific topics affected me and how I was able to overcome them, the steps I took, the techniques I learned on my journey from books, courses, and seminars. Today I want to talk about the power of courage and the importance having courage is to achieving happiness and success in one's life. It was T.S. Eliot who once said, "You will never do anything in this world without courage. It is the greatest quality of the mind next to honor," unquote. Have you ever felt stuck in your life? Many of us currently feel stuck or felt stuck at some point in our lives. That feeling where life seems to be going nowhere, living the same day over and over again, same experiences, day in, day out, wanting things to change, but sadly, nothing changes. This was where my life was about 8 years, and it led to extreme depression. I honestly thought there was nothing I could have physically done to change it, as I waited for something or someone to come along and change things for me. But what really is feeling stuck in life? Is someone physically holding us down? Are people out there conspiring to keep us stuck? No. Do we have a choice to get unstuck? Of course we do. Well then why would we stay stuck knowing that we can become unstuck? Around this time, I was introduced to a book called Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender by Dr. David R. Hawkins. Dr. Hawkins wrote about the map of consciousness. This map shows 17 different levels of consciousness, from the lowest, which is shame, which has the energetic frequency of 20, right up to enlightenment, which has an energetic frequency between 700 to 1000. Now, if we start at the lowest conscious level and move up the chart, we realize that the bottom 8 all carry low emotions. At the bottom of the chart, as we mentioned earlier, is shame. The emotional state which accompanies shame is humiliation. And the view of life of a person with shame, his life is miserable. As we move up the chart, the energetic frequency raises. And at the middle of the chart, we see courage. Below courage lies all of the lower levels of consciousness, like shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, and pride. And above courage are all of the higher levels of consciousness, which are neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace, all the way up to enlightenment. At this time, I think I had experienced all of the lower levels on the consciousness map, from shame all the way up to pride, but majoring in fear, as I lived my life from a place of being frozen with fear. You see, most of my childhood trauma ended in me being frozen, as in fight, flight, or freeze. Well, back in the day, that was me. Honestly, that was me, frozen with fear. Even as an adult, when I experienced certain fearful situations, many times I felt frozen with fear and I would be catapulted back to childhood. But what is it that separates the lower levels from the higher levels of consciousness? It's courage. Courage is the game changer. Courage is the point of no return. From here, it's all about to change for the better, and things will never be quite the same again, because you're about to enter in new territory with an open mind, ready to make your mark on the world by being productive, not just work hours, but outside work hours as well. At this point, you fully accept that whatever happens next can only enhance who you truly are, and you are no longer going to hide behind excuses and fear. To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. It takes courage to step into the unknown, to go down the path we've never traveled before, the path where there may be potential to be ridiculed, to be judged, or even experience failure. It takes courage to face some of the setbacks and to keep going. For some, they'll stay stuck on the treadmill of life because the unknown is too daunting. But for the few who decide to dig deep and find the courage to pursue their desires, they will never submit to the fears of leaving their comfort zone. What are you going to do when the fear of the new business venture or that new relationship hits you? What are you going to do? There is no one who has achieved greatness without wrestling with their own doubts, anxieties, limitations, and demons. Even launching this channel, I struggle with my own demons. I constantly wondered, will anyone watch it? Will I get any subscribers? Who am I to tell my stories to others? Do they even care? No one wants to hear my stories. And a host of other demeaning statements. But the truth is, all of the negative things that we believe others are going to say about us, truth is, we are already saying those things to ourselves. There's no one saying those things, just us, to us, and about ourselves. After reading the book Letting Go, I realized that the feeling of being stuck in life was just the result of my fears, being frozen with fear and not having the courage to step out of my comfort zone. You know, Steve Harvey once said, to change your life, you have to jump. I think what he meant was you have to find the courage to jump out of your comfort zone. It's called the comfort zone for a reason. It brings us comfort, even when we may not even like being there. But outside the zone is way too scary, so we tolerate the familiar. I've missed out on many opportunities in my life because of the many fears I've had. You see, when you experience trauma and it is not resolved, our subconscious decides to store those experiences in our bodies with one goal in mind: survive. So we begin living our lives in survival mode. In this state, we're afraid of everything. Our heart rate increases when we think our lives are being threatened, which can be for minor or major reasons. Our subconscious is always on high alert. We tend to go through life constantly looking to avoid the threats, and this can be energy draining. It's intense on our nervous system. The body creates high levels of cortisol, heightened stress, and heightened blood pressure. This is how I lived most of my life until I started working on myself. Someone once said that building wealth while your body and mind are in survival mode is like building a business while running from a lion. It's impossible, because when you're in survival mode, you have one thing on your mind: survival. Yes, it takes courage to do you and not be swayed by other people's opinions of what you're doing. To venture off to do something that you've never done before, when others might be waiting to judge you if it doesn't work out. But ask yourself, if you knew that you could not fail, what would you do? How would you approach life if you could not fail? What would light you up so much that if you achieved it, the joy would be incredible? Now, here are 3 tips that I use that helps me when I feel the fear when approaching something new. 1, get acquainted with all the things that can go wrong with this new project. Most of the time, when we feel fearful of embarking on something new, it can cause procrastination, lack of creativity, and even lead to us abandoning the project altogether. But have you really looked at what your fears are? Most of the time, we haven't. We just feel the fear, and our subconscious starts making excuses and working hard to validate these excuses. We need to explore all the fears we have. And many times, the big scary fears show up as a tiny mouse, which cannot hurt anyone. Sometimes when we're embarking on a new goal, we may think, maybe I'll fail. So let's analyze it. So what? So what if you fail first time? You can try again. And this time, you'll be ahead of the game. Or you could be concerned that other people may secretly laugh at you or make fun of you if you fail. So what? The truth is, the people who may laugh at you don't want to see you succeed anyway. And your true friends will always support you, regardless. Can I really achieve this? You may ask. There's only one way to find out. If you go for it, yes, it can go either way. But if you don't, it's going to go one way, even before you started. When you thoroughly examine all these outcomes that you're afraid of, you'll realize that you can handle it, even if it goes wrong. And you can always course correct, and you'll realize that the fear diminishes. Step 2, get acquainted with all the things that can go right. Never got at, always said, live in the end, which means live from that place of joy, of accomplishment. Live in your mind from the place of achievement. If it's a new business, see yourself running the business. See the business growing and your employees all happy to contribute to the company. See it the way you want it to be, even though you are just embarking on the project. See the lifestyle that growing this business can create, and see yourself and your loved ones living it. This will inspire you and allow you to come up with ideas towards the creation of the business and keep you on a positive track rather than fearful path. When you do this, you will realize that there's nothing to fear. Step 3, the rocking chair test. I think it was Anthony Robbins who coined this term, the rocking chair test, which is to imagine yourself at the right old age in a rocking chair and near to your transition. Do you feel that you've given all you could give to life? Do you feel that you've taken chances, took risks, and lived a full life? Or was your life filled with doubt, procrastination, uncertainty, fear, and a lack of self-belief? Were you afraid to step out of your comfort zone, looking at others go for theirs, and now looking back at your life, knowing that time has passed you by? Now, if you don't want to have those regrets, and I doubt anyone wants those, you have time today to change it. I suggest that you look deep inside yourself to find the courage, because it is within you. Deepak Chopra once said, the known is the trap, the unknown is the field of all possibilities. So live with courage. Then, and only then, will you live on your own terms. I know you can do it. I believe in you. Thanks for making it to the end of my first video. I do appreciate you for watching. Until the next time, keep believing in yourself, because you already have what you're looking for. It's within you. You just don't know it yet.